Hi there, I'm Cameron Manuel Burns, reporting for FinTech Futures here at FinovateEurope, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Robin Scher, Head of FinTech Investment at Lloyds Banking Group. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm brilliant, and
Good.
have you had a good time so far at Finovate?
It's been great. Yeah, really good conference.
Super. Well, I thought we could start off with just trying to understand what is Lloyds' FinTech partnership investment strategy at the moment.
Yeah, sure. So look, we've got 65,000 people that work for Lloyds, and I've got the best job out of all of them because a couple of years ago we set up this corporate VC, essentially investing in early stage, so anywhere really from C to Series B fintech, investing 2 million to 15 million pounds into these kind of growing companies and helping these companies partner with Lloyds and kind of assisting them through the journey, and also acting as a kind of financial investor as well, so sitting on boards, providing support. It's been a brilliant ride so far. We're about to invest in our 9th company over the last kind of 18 months that we've been investing, and it's been a really brilliant ride. So we've had a first budget of £50 million to invest. We're about to close that, and we've just been given another 50 to invest. So yeah, it's been great so far. A really, really busy couple of years.
It sounds really exciting, and I've actually just saw you did a panel, you were speaking at a panel just before this on smart money being invested in fintech, and I heard that you said that you felt you had the coolest job at Lloyds, and I had to say, I think I agree with you actually. But for those who weren't able to attend that talk, what are your key takeaways from it?
Right, so where is the smart money investing? It's a really difficult one. I kind of get out my crystal ball and say where, but I suppose if I look at kind of specific domains, I like RegTech. We invested in a company called ASIN last year, which is a really, really good RegTech company. I think if they've got strong fundamentals, I think RegTech's a really good one. Anything in kind of fraud, financial crime, cybersecurity, I think banks are interested in. The bad guys are getting better, worse. I mean, they're improving in their badness. So investing in something to kind of keep them out is going to be really, really important. If I look at another kind of area, so Lloyds has a huge insurance arm as well. And I think for me, InsurTech is a really, really interesting vertical that is yet to be kind of truly kind of picked up on. So I think that could be a real focus area just in general in 2024 for investors. Might be 2025, might be a bit later. It's always been one of those that's been on the cusp of true transformation. So I like that as an area. And then if I look at kind of a specific demographic, I'd probably go with kind of the mass affluent demographic. A lot of the banks have just released their annual results. A lot of them are talking about their strategies, and everyone seems to be trying to protect or grow their revenue pools in mass affluent. And I think that's an area that clearly needs a really, really good kind of digital journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's some areas. What I haven't mentioned is Gen AI, because I think everyone is at the moment, where are we, kind of February 2024, so this is going to get dated very, very quickly, but I'd say everyone is both excited but also a little bit scared of Gen AI. We see that it could be absolutely huge, but we've also got to be really cognizant of what the big vendors do, and it's been changing kind of week on week of kind of where people are going to be playing in that space. So I think if there's a Gen AI firm with a really, really kind of narrow niche that they've spent a lot of time doing R&D on, and they're well ahead of the game, then they could be a really interesting player as well.
Well, does that kind of links into what I'm next like to ask you about, specifically Lloyds, and obviously you're ahead of the strategy. What are the areas, you've said RegTech that you like particularly, what are the areas, if you had to list them, that Lloyds are particularly interested in at the moment to invest in? Yeah,
so I suppose we've got anything in the kind of enterprise technology, so things that can make the kind of spaghetti that runs within the Lloyds machine just a little bit smoother and straighter. I think that's going to be key. We like the idea of Gen AI, but as I said, I don't know quite where it's going to go, but I'd keep that just as a kind of general theme that we're going to be looking at. Whether we invest or not, I'm not sure. We've got kind of authentication, so that could be anything from the know your client, know your business. It could really have fraud and financial crime in there as well. Digital identity, kind of building on the investment that we've already made with Yoti last year. And then a couple of different verticals, but you've got kind of client propositions, so anything that can improve the experience of our business clients, and customer or consumer propositions, so anything that can improve the retail client base. So it's really, really wide, and inside that is pretty much anything that you could even link to fintech, regtech, insurtech, wealth tech. But I think those are going to be the kind of general themes of where we're looking at this year.
Well, clearly a lot of possibilities out there.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that it's been a tough couple of years for fintech investment amid a global funding slowdown and obviously the tough macroeconomic conditions. Given the shape of the global economy right now, is sentiment still quite low, do you think? Or do you think this year we'll end up seeing a bit more positivity in this space?
I think I'd love to say that sentiment is picking up and it's high. I really want to say that. And I think for the early stage, for kind of seed and Series A, sentiment never really fell away and they've always been kind of doing okay. What I was hoping for is seeing a lot more kind of Series B and larger rounds coming back, because that's the bit that hasn't happened as much. So I thought that maybe kind of Q2 this year it would pick up. I read some analysis recently that kind of showed that actually there's still, of all the companies that raised a Series A in 2021 at these kind of wild valuations, that the VCs are still trying to protect them and doing internal bridging rounds. And I think there is still 40% plus of those who still haven't raised a bridging round, haven't shut down, haven't been acquired, and haven't raised a Series B. So still looking for funding. And I worry that at least for the first half of this year, VCs are going to be very strongly focused on still protecting their own portfolio and these kind of small little internal bridging rounds, etc. Now, in the second half of this year, kind of summer onwards, I'm really hoping that it all picks up a lot. I don't think valuations will pick up massively. I think valuations are now kind of at a point that is about right, kind of here to stay. Maybe even in the smaller stages go down a touch. But I think we're still a few months at least away from seeing the deal flow pick up in the larger scale.
Well, to pick up what you were saying there on the extortionate valuations that we have seen, we've been seeing more down rounds of late. And of course, huge company valuations we were seeing in early 2021 have been cut significantly in some cases. Do you think this valuation consolidation was needed in the space? And do you think we've now hit that fair level?
Yes and yes. I think it absolutely was needed. I think we've hit a pretty fair level. What I would say is we've hit a fair level for good companies. So anyone who raised a Series B last year, who wasn't raising it with kind of like a bridging finance or just trying to avoid a down round and their VCs kind of propping them up a little bit. Anyone who raised a true Series B is clearly has a very, very good company and is raising exceptionally well. So I would say those are true valuations for very good and the right company that people should be investing in. So yeah, I think we've kind of hit around the right space. And yeah, but it's been a difficult time.
Well, thanks for that. But to finish off, I'd really like to know from your point of view, and also of course speaking for Lloyds, what characteristics in companies do you look for to invest in, and what would you advise potential companies who are looking to get investment from a big organisation like Lloyds, what they should be doing to enable that investment? Yeah,
okay. So I'll speak for me, but I guess it's also for Lloyds as well, right? So what I look for, I love a great founder and a founder with like real true vision, and I think that's absolutely like one of the key things that I look for right at the start. I like to see like a decent product market fit. I like to look at things that are trying to solve something fairly niche but fairly important. Ideally that no one's ever really tried to solve or no one's really solved well before. I like realism in that when you kind of look at a business model, you can see that if revenues are going to explode, you've got a really like good reason why, and you also see the costs kind of following suit as well, right? So it's not just we'll keep costs flat, but suddenly the revenue is going to absolutely explode. So a cost-conscious founder is always useful. We are the kind of UK's kind of big conservative retail and commercial bank, and I'd say on top of all of that, I'd like to see kind of an understanding that if it's going to B2B and looking to partner with us, that can take a while. And I think that's if I sometimes get a pitch deck in saying, we've just started up and we're going to partner with our first bank and start making money off them in 3 months, you kind of look at that and think, right. Yeah. So I think it's that kind of realism of how long and the effort that it takes to integrate with and partner with a big institution. Once you do that, the prize is absolutely massive, but a bit of realism around that is always useful.
That was fascinating. Thank you so much, Robin, for taking the time to speak to me today, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of Finovate.
Great, thank you so much. It's been great. Cheers.